in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the bluebonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy sloop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always cry.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Hope everybody's had a super great day today. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate y'all. Hello, me and you. I got your text. I was on the phone. I'm sorry I didn't text you back. We'll talk about that in just a second. Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you? Miss Rhonda, how you doing? Seclusion Works, thanks for being here. Hey, Teresa, good to have you. TJ, let's see. Hey, Kelly. Sorry I missed your call. I did look at my text right before we got on the live, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Hey, Charlene, how are you doing? Randa, good to have you. And Bridget, thank you for being here. Hey, Valley Gal, how are you? Good to have you. Cheryl, always good to have you with us. Let's see. Bobby, good to have you. So glad you're here today. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Um, so, um, Crime Time Buzz did a little thing earlier today. Due to At Night's post that the Mexican border is on high alert and other borders as well. I don't know. I'm very confused on the trafficking side of things, but I just don't see an autistic young man being a prime candidate for being trafficked. To me, that is a something that I just don't think that's what's going on, guys. I'm not sure. I can't say that. I have nothing to back it up, but I don't think Sebastian would be a high priority, if that makes sense. It's just something I've looked into. Yes, TJ Summer Wells. Yes, she's the perfect blonde little white girl. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Number one target. Oh no, Bobby. But as far as Sebastian, I'm not 100% on that. I pray that that is not what happens to Sebastian, but I guess there is always at this point a possibility. I continue to get asked repeatedly my thoughts and opinions, and I'm on the fence a lot of the time. But if it comes to trafficking, being put away in a facility, if it comes to unaliving, in the pictures that we have the night of the 3 a.m. video, they are carrying something rather large out. I don't believe that there's evidence in that home that would be that heavy and bulky looking. I do think Sebastian was taken out of that home that night. I'm not sure where it went from there. But Possibly, Bridget, possibly. It's very possible that he could be in a facility because we know that's what they looked into doing. However, they needed a quick remedy. And Seth's remedy about waiting till he was enrolled into the online classes to finish school there where Seth lives, it wasn't quick enough for them, I'm afraid, and therefore something else was done. I'm unsure if he is even still with us. As time goes on and more attention was drawn to Sebastian, I just wonder how they could have kept him hidden so well. I go back and forth a lot of times on it because I am so unsure about it. But at the end of all of my debating in my head, I go back to one thing. Sebastian needs to be found no matter his condition, no matter where he is. Seclusion, I honestly believe it had something to do with the custody case between the stepfather and his ex-wife over their daughter. Y'all, my dog has learned to open the door. Lordy, have mercy. She just opened the door and went downstairs on her own. Oh. But I just, as far as the trafficking goes, I have a hard time seeing him being a good candidate for that. I see those people as doing that so that they make money off of those children, basically. I don't know that Sebastian would be the fit to make good money. Yeah, I'm unsure, very unsure about that. But are they trying to move him across the border out of Wandering Eyes? Possibly. Yeah, the truth needs to be explained and exposed. So, I don't know. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm iffy about at night as well. They went dead silent for so long. I'm just, now they come back with the hourglass saying time's up, and then they're talking about the border. Just unsure about what would they know? What would they have? I don't know. Oh, thank you, Charlene. That's all I can do is give my opinion in everything we talk about. Unless I have something to back it up with, it's all just opinions. Yeah. Yeah, the Canadian border is not secure if they took him. Yeah. It is, Blue Eyes. It is 100%. It's hard. I'm just to that point, guys, seriously, that I'm so unsure about so much happening in this case. Bridget, no, ma'am. Her family is in New Mexico. There is a reservation there in New Mexico, and that is where her family is at. So I don't know about a lot of things when it comes to this case because my gosh, guys, you stop and think about it. What missing child has people on YouTube talking about his disappearance, putting his face out there, his story out there every single day for over a year? And death threats are made to those who volunteer their time to go and search for him. Why? YouTube creators have been threatened repeatedly. Why? It always goes back to that for me. They do not want this child found. And anyone with any potential of getting close, of making things known, they get threatened. Hold on, guys, just 1 second, okay? Blue Eyes, I have not. I've not seen him. I haven't heard from him. Lots of people have moved on out of this case, or they are quietly doing it behind the scenes. You know, I mean, guys, it's so bad over here concerning Sebastian's case. Laura, thank you so much for that. If you were the lucky person who was gifted the membership from Laura W., please make sure to tell her thank you. That is so sweet and precious of her. Receiving a membership is like hitting a home run with the Astros. We get that excited when we get a new member. Thank you, Laura. You are so sweet for that. And welcome to the lollipops. Randa got it. Yay. Good deal. Hey, Dancing Queen, how are you doing? Guys, before I go any further, I need to ask a favor from everybody that's in here right now. Hi, April. How are you doing? I need every one of you, if you believe in the power of prayer, to please keep our Blue Eyes in your prayers. She is going through some medical issues right now, and we need our friend healthy. So if you could do that, and while you're doing that, please say a prayer, extra prayer for Miss Sandra as well, as she goes through this process of recovery and everything. Be with her. Send prayers out for those two of our beautiful friends. Will y'all let the dogs outside? Siba, outside. Layla, outside. Sorry, trying to get the dogs out of here. But yes, please keep both of those in your prayers, if you please. They both could use our prayers. Yay, that is good to hear. I know that they were working on that, April T. So that is good to hear. There is a ceasefire from Iran and Israel. Yay. Our country needs prayers. Oh, don't they? For sure. So, hello, everybody coming in. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate y'all so much. We've just been talking a little bit here for a minute before we get into all of our discussion and things I want to show you. Trump worked out a ceasefire. That is amazing to hear. Good deal. Yeah, hi Miriam. Um our base over in Iran was hit, or Israel or somewhere over there. One of our bases was hit. Hey Selena, Grammy the Great. Hi Miss Ann. Hello to everybody coming in. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate everybody. The whole case with Sebastian is really in Qatar. Okay. Qatar. Um, yeah, that's the way to do it, seclusion. I'm telling you, I don't pay too much attention to the news, but I do see it occasionally. Oh no. I will be praying for her, Bridget. Y'all remember Bridget's daughter, Holly, Thursday, 7:30 a.m. for her operation. She has a tumor just below her right ear going into her neck. Okay. I had one of those. I had it removed. It was just like fatty tissue, a fatty tumor, but I can relate to that being so uncomfortable and just in a bad spot. I will be praying for her, Bridget, as well. So, we we need to seriously do the best we can when it comes to Sebastian Rogers, and unfortunately it doesn't ever seem to be enough. And when we do think that we have a way to help and have the right person in play, it just doesn't seem to be needed. Oh, how awesome. So we sit here and we continue every day, guys, doing the best we can. Unfortunately, I feel at times there's other things that we could be doing. Woohoo! Dancing Queen, way to go. After 7 years of harassment from her ex, she got a 4-year restraining order put on him. Yes, that's what we like to hear. That's amazing. Yay, we like some good news, don't we? Way to go. I know you got big time reliefs. Just a huge relief, man. Way to go. Congrats to you for sure. So, guys, let's get started here. Today, no term limit equals corruption is our title here. I have a clip that we're going to listen to. His name is John Jensen, I think is his last name. Gentry, John Gentry. I did. I did. We talked about that a little bit earlier, Miss Ann. I am not sure that Sebastian was trafficked. I just I just don't see him being the right candidate for that. Oh no. That's it, Bridget. You never stop worrying about him. Yeah. Texas, good people, good food, and seriously powerful thunderstorms. Yep, that does happen. Yeah, I just am not sure if they are trafficking him that way. Now, are they trying to move him out of the United States as far as to keep him hidden, not on the trafficking level? That could be possible, but I would think they would go north instead of south. But I don't believe it's trafficking. So, but we have talked about Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the corruption in that office. We have talked about all the things that they say and don't do. In order for that to happen, hey, Gypsy, good to have you. Yeah, Holly, we're getting the thunder. It's starting to thunder here, so I'm getting probably what you just had. He possibly may be, Miss Ann. He may be somewhere in North Carolina. Who knows? That's the bad part. But yeah, Bobby, please God bring Sebastian home. I thought Cecilia was in here earlier. I thought I saw her in chat come in a while ago. That's it, Holly. At this point, anything is possible. I cannot sit here and say no without a shadow of a doubt. I just know this: an autistic teen boy is not a high priority. But that's it. Yeah, some of them sickos do like it. Yeah. And you know, the saddest part of all is if that is the case, they would have to have him highly sedated, I would think, because he would be the one to fight back horribly bad. Hey, Dixie. Yeah, I remember that kid seeing him Black Mountain. Yes. So, in order for Sumner County Sheriff's Office to get away with all the crap they're doing, I started looking into some things, and we're going to listen to this man that ran for Senate for Sumner County. Unfortunately, he did not make it. And keep in mind, there are no term limits in Tennessee. Oh no, Tracy, you broke your ankle bone. Oh, I feel for you. I did the same thing a couple years back. It hurts. Take care of yourself, girl. I hope it gets better soon. But we're going to listen to Mr. Gentry and what he had to offer for Sumner County. And you will be surprised that there are so many people that did not vote for this man. They did not vote him in. And because of the surgery, I just read surgery, because of what I believe is the corruption that's happening there. They have people in place. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But let's listen to this real quick. And then I've got some other things to show you. And this is on a Super Talk radio station, 99.7. And we have listened to this guy before. And he had John Gentry on his show. So here we go. I'm going to make this a little bigger. I think it does have closed caption to it.
Right now, we are joined by a political candidate in our studios. This next gentleman reached out to me some months ago, expressing his interest to come into studio to talk to you about his candidacy for a Senate seat. Being that he was not on the primary ballot and in an effort to avoid confusion, I asked John to wait until after the primary election cycle, and then we could, for those of you unfamiliar with his candidacy, introduce him to the listening audience, and we're doing that today. His name is John Gentry. He is running for state senate in District 18. That's right, against Farrell Hale, a gentleman that we've talked about quite a bit on this radio show, who I call Feckless Farrell because Farrell will not come on with me and present himself to the listening audience. But John Gentry will, and he joins us in studio today. John, thank you for being on with us. Good afternoon.
Thanks for having me here, Matt.
Tell folks who are unfamiliar with you, your backstory, your history, a little about yourself, and what led you to offer yourself to public service.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. I was a certified public accountant for more than 20 years. Before that, I served 8 years as a Force Recon Marine. It's like a Navy SEAL, but for the Marine Corps. And for about almost the last decade, I've been fighting corruption in our state government. And I've already gotten rid of almost a dozen corrupt judges. And I've also been taking stand against the corruption that's going on in our legislative houses. What's happening in the Tennessee General Assembly is they're using the lawmaking powers that we delegated to them, and they're misusing that power to create financial advantage for special interests out there.
Oh, did y'all hear that? These people in power are creating financial interest for their connections out there. Have we heard this before?
Literally 99% of the legislation is special interest. And if they're writing legislation so that, banking, insurance, real estate can make a little more money as a
real estate. What? What about real estate, I wonder?
CTA, it's common sense to me. If somebody's making money, it's costing somebody somewhere. And that's usually us, the people, that are having to pay increased costs as a result of a lot of special interest legislation down there. So the difference with me, I know one vote in the Senate isn't going to matter. The majority of them, they're going to get done what they want to get done. Well, the difference for me is I stand on our state constitution. I literally know our state constitution better than anyone in this entire country because I wrote and published a book explaining our state constitution. But the heart of my work, and I look forward to talking about this, is teaching people how to take back control of our government, how to have a direct voice in our government through rights in our state constitution.
So why are you offering yourself up specifically to District number 18?
I became aware of corruption in our government through court proceedings in Sumner County. And I thought that corruption all the way through to the Supreme Court of the United States. I sued judges and attorneys and took 2 cases to the Supreme Court of the United States. I couldn't even get heard because the corruption protects the corruption. Mm-hmm. And so
what? Protection, corruption protects the corruption. protection, protection, protection everywhere you turn in Sumner County.
Then I started learning about, well, if I can't go to the judiciary, what about the legislative branch? And then I learned how corrupt the legislative branches are. And through the years, going to various law enforcement agencies, state and federal, about these crimes that are being committed by our government, I found government isn't going to fix itself. It's going to have to come from the people. The people are going to have to learn how to take back control of our government. And the solutions for that are in our state constitution. So I use my campaign as a way to educate people, teach them about the protections that the founders put in our state constitution and how we have a direct voice and how we start to take down this corruption in our government.
You know, you're talking my language, John, because I do believe that government's natural state is to grow and to absorb responsibilities and power that we're.
Yes, Lori said, follow the money. Exactly. And they continue to make that money because they are protected.
It was not designed to absorb nor to take up. And sadly, the fight against that growth and encroachment, we see it more at the federal level because they're allowed to borrow against the good faith and credit. And we see what happens there, $36 trillion later now. But it happens in state government as well, where the authorities vested in the local communities somehow get absorbed into Nashville. And it happens in a way that the citizenry doesn't typically notice.
And it's our state legislatures that very often fill positions in Congress. They're coming out of our General Assembly. They learn that corrupt process, serving as state legislators down there. I ask a lot of people I talk to, is it a fair statement that we all pretty much agree we have a big problem with corruption in government? And I have yet to have one single person say, no, we don't have a problem with corruption in government. We all recognize the problem, and there is not a single other candidate who even acknowledges that we have a problem with corruption in our government. So it has to be true that these other candidates are incredibly stupid and don't realize we have a problem with corruption in government, or they're a part of it.
Bingo. They're either stupid or they're a part of it. And yes, April, this happens in a lot of states, a lot. And we're going to talk here in just a minute about how this continues. Let's listen some more.
They're actively participating or turning a blind eye to it. And I do not accept this corruption that is going on in our state government, and I know how to fix the problem. And the solution to the problem is educating the people about how to take back control of our government.
Now, when you say corruption in government, that's a big phrase. That's a big concept. Boil it down for us and help us understand what you mean when you say that the politicians in Nashville, in the state legislature.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when I talk about corruption, I just don't make vague allegations. I'm very specific about it. In 1953, they created the Tennessee Code Commission, and they put the Chief Justice of the Tennessee Supreme Court is the chair of that. 1971, they created the Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct, and it used to be all judges, almost a dozen. Now it has 8 new judges in there. Our state constitution prohibits judges from holding any other office, period. You're a judge, that's all you get to be, because the founders knew you give a judge a second office, it's always going to lead to corruption. And
certainly a conflict of interest. Well, nothing else.
It's strictly about protecting corruption. Right. That's why they put that provision in there. And as a result of that, our judicial branch is completely unchecked branch of government, accountable to no one. They are literally above the law, and they're destroying lives in our courtroom. In the Tennessee Code Commission, they actually deceive what are the public acts passed by the General Assembly, the way that they compile that into Tennessee Code annotated. And a huge violation of separation of powers. When I talk about legislative corruption, like for example, there was a strategic lawsuit against public participation bill that I went and testified against a couple of years. A lot of this legislation, when you actually look at the legislation, not the caption, The caption is the pretended legislation. They tell you, this is what it's supposed to be for. When you get into the language, there is no good public purpose to that legislation, and it is clear that they're creating financial advantage. They're creating immunities for government officials so that they can't be held accountable. There's incredible amounts of that kind of legislation going on down there, and there's nobody talking about it except for John Gentry.
So, and I just want to dig a little bit deeper into what you're discussing, because when you say the word corruption, it indicates that someone is doing something either underhandedly or illegally. And what you just described, it occurs to me, is a group of people doing things in broad daylight that go against the fabric of the founding of the state of Tennessee, go against the Constitution of the state of Tennessee. So are they, I mean, is corruption, I don't want to use your word against you, but is corruption the wrong word to use? I mean, isn't it our responsibility as a people to recognize when the elected officials that we put in office are using their position to expand and broaden the power of the office?
Well, you
understand my question?
Yeah, the founders called it. You're asking, is this unfair to call this corruption?
Right.
No, absolutely, it is corruption. The founders called it tyranny and oppression, but it is exactly the same thing. Now, in our Declaration of Independence, it was a grievance for altering fundamentally our forms of government. That was one of the grounds for declaring independence and separating from England. When our Tennessee legislature created the Code Commission and the Board of Judicial Conduct, they put judges in prohibited offices. Mm-hmm. They unlawfully altered our form of government. But this gets back to the people. We are not taught our state constitution at any grade, at any level, in any school. And so the people don't know that we have a problem. The legislature that created them in 1953 and 1971 didn't know their state constitution, didn't know that they were acting in violation of it.
Roxy, girl, I hope you feel better, and I hope everything works out okay for you. We will definitely keep you in our prayers. Big hugs to you.
But when it gets down to it, every bit of corruption that is going on in this state it boils down, when you peel back all the layers, it's judges holding prohibited offices in the Code Commission and the Board of Judicial Conduct.
Well, and you are running for state senate, then why? To correct that issue? Is that your primary goal?
Absolutely. As a citizen, I testified in 2 legislative committee hearings against the Board of Judicial Conduct. Mm-hmm. And I publicly accused a sitting senator and a judge of federal crime in front of 9 senators and 16 representatives, because
how'd they take that, John?
They're not in office anymore.
Oh, well, they're good for you.
And because they were
Did you hear that? He took judges who were in positions and he sued them. And those judges are not in office anymore. Folks, just know I have sent an email to this man to try to get him to come on and talk to us. I have yet to hear back from him, but I thought it would be worth a try. This man knows the Constitution. He knows what's going on in Sumner County. This man was ready to clean streets around there. Hello, everybody coming in. Oh, Roxy, you take care.
Trying to prevent my testimony. Senator Pody, very good senator, have my greatest respect.
That's my senator, Mark Pody. Love that man.
He heard my testimony. He turned around during legislative committee hearing, and he asked the legislative committee attorney, he said, are we in any way in violation of the state constitution with judges holding prohibited offices? And the legislative attorney, I'll get back to you on that. I have challenged every senator, representative, the attorney general, anyone to prove me wrong, and I'll shut up about it.
Well,
and nobody will step up.
You kind of answered one of my questions. John Gentry, our guest, by the way, is an independent candidate for State Senate District number 18, currently held by Farrell Hale. So you mentioned Mark Pody. I was going to ask you, because at the beginning, when you were opening up on this line of conversation, you said that, and if I misheard you, correct me, that the vast majority of people in public office in the state of Tennessee are either in on it or useful idiots.
Exactly. I mean,
well, which is Mark Pody?
Mark Pody, well, actually, I think Mark Pody stands against that. You know, when it's brought to his attention, he voted no in that hearing.
Are there others that you would look to and say these are folks that get it in elected office?
Absolutely, there are several of them down there.
So you would have allies, in other words.
Absolutely, and I build allies down there. I spent a lot of time working with legislators down there as a citizen. I'm already doing the job.
120 Super Talk 99.7 WT and John Gentry with us for another good segment, good conversation to begin our visit together. You can find out more about John at wethepeoplev50.com. That's his website. A little bit clunky, so I'm just going to read it out. It's We the People, like you would expect it, V, the letter V, and then 50, the number 50.com for more information about John. We'll be back in just a moment on Super Talk. We have 5 more minutes of good conversation with John Gentry, who is running for state senate as an independent candidate. I was just talking to you off air, and folks, you just need to look for the name John Gentry because there'll be some other names on your ballot in November, in addition to the incumbent Farrell Hale. Is Farrell, just talk to me about how he is a part of the problem specifically to the Senate district that you're.
Okay, everybody listen very closely, because we're going to talk about this.
Running for and beyond, because this is, I don't want to say it's a hard concept for people to grasp that government's grown beyond its constitutional duty and boundaries, but that's a hard one for people to grab onto maybe locally. Are there local issues that are consistent with your message, your mission statement regarding the growth of government that you want to talk about too, John?
You know, there's a lot of stuff that Hale's primary challenger, Chris Spencer, put out there that Hale is basically a rhino.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went down and specifically testified against legislation sponsored by Hale, which was to confound FOIA requests to our state government. So Senator Hale was actually sponsored legislation that would make it much more difficult for citizens to actually have transparency through FOIA requests. And that.
Did you hear that? This senator is the one that pushed the bill through in the state of Tennessee, making it harder to get a FOIA request on a public document. Wonder why?
Government directly. And then Senator Hale is well aware. I've emailed him several times about judges holding prohibited offices, and he won't even respond to my emails. And so I would say that Senator Hale is a traitor to his oath to support the Constitution of this state.
Well, there's strong words, but, you know, I requested on several different occasions through his cell phone and through his campaign audience with Senator Hale, and he just ignores me. There's
a state law, and I'm pretty sure they enacted this to try to get me. There's a new state law that if you are a candidate and you make a false statement about another candidate, it's a misdemeanor crime with 30 days in jail, which is, you know, that's a civil tort, libel or slander. But now they've actually turned it into a crime if you're a candidate. And so I know this law, and I don't make these statements lightly. Farrell Hale is a traitor to his oath to support the Constitution of this state.
And you challenge, it sounds like you're almost challenging Farrell to dispute that.
Absolutely. And any district attorney, you know, come after me and try to prosecute me for this, because I'd be happy to prove it in a court of law.
This man, I'm telling you, if I was in Tennessee, I would be his campaign manager. My goodness. He is outright saying it. There is corruption there. And it is 30 days in jail if you say something that is false. He knows his stuff, y'all. Unfortunately, those in power know exactly what they're doing. And they continue to do it.
You consider yourself a constitutional conservative?
Absolutely, I'm conservative, and my work is not so much about party politics. I mean, absolutely, of course, I'm going to vote conservative. You know, the job of being a senator, it really should be stupid simple. It really ought to be. You do what the majority of the people who elected you want you to do. You do what the Constitution allows and nothing more, and you do what's morally the right thing. And there shouldn't be anything hard about that. I don't think our senators and representatives have actually read our state constitution.
I would agree with that.
That they swore an oath to. Because if they did, they would know that a lot of legislation that's going through our General Assembly is repugnant to our state constitution.
So this is the reason that you run as an independent? I mean, obviously there's some...
No, the reason I'm running as an independent, the Republican Party controls who's on the ballot by disqualifying people they don't like. And because I've been fighting corruption in our government for almost a decade, I figure they're going to make up some excuse and disqualify me. Now, they just put in a new bylaw. If you sue the Republican Party, you can't run as a Republican for 10 years. So if I'm wrongfully disqualified, I can't even defend myself in a court of law. And under state law, if you're disqualified from a primary, statutory law prohibits you from switching to an independent and running in the general election. They're stacking the deck, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know...
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. They have got it right where they want it so that they can put the right people in place to continue the corruption. Did you hear how hard it is? Man.
You know, they just disqualified 14 Republicans across the state before the August primary. I'm a little bit smarter than those guys. I learned the rules before I jump in the game.
You got a shot at this, John?
Absolutely, I do. I have reached out to thousands, tens of thousands of people in Sumner County, one-on-one. I have been working hard since January, and I strongly believe that Farrell Hale is going to get a big surprise come November.
I'm running late. I've only got about 30 seconds left, but I ask you this. I mean, Chris Spencer ran a spirited primary campaign. I understand that he's smarting after his defeat, but have you reached out to him? Have you talked to Chris at all? Would you talk to Chris about?
I did, and I'm actually quite surprised that Chris Spencer isn't supporting me, because I was going to vote for Chris Spencer myself before I decided to run for this seat. I stand for this, a lot of the same things, almost all of the same things that Chris Spencer stands for.
I'll give him some time. I mean, maybe I know that they're hurting. That camp is hurting. I heard from a number of their folks, and maybe they'll come around to a Gentry candidacy come November.
I welcome anybody to take time, learn about the work. I will embrace even these traitors that we have down there. My arms are wide open as soon as we're ready to come back into compliance with our founding documents.
We the People, V50.com. Best way to reach you.
Yeah. If you just internet search John Gentry, Tennessee, Gentry, you'll find me. There's a lot of stuff out there.
John, good to meet you. We'll have you back on.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
There's John Gentry. We'll be back in a moment. Ken Weaver in the news right now.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was something very, very interesting to hear. I found him thanks to Miss Rhonda. I have been looking into a lot of what he has to say. Now, we're going to look at a few things. Let me grab my tablet so I can read them from my tablet, because it gets so hard to read them on the screen. And I want to make sure I get y'all all the information. So, okay, let me find this picture. And it is going to be this one right here. Governor of Tennessee, Billy Lee, has been in this position since 2019. State Representative William Lamberth has been in position since 2019. Johnny Garrett, State House, has been in position since 2018. William Slatter, 2022 is when he took office. Now look here. State Senate Farrell Hale, the one John Gentry was going up against because of all the corruption that he is allowing, and the man that pushed through the vote to get FOIA requests harder to obtain, has been in power since 2010. 2010, folks. He has been in this position for 15 years. Make that one make sense. Now, here we have, let me get to the right picture. Senator Bill Hagerty has been in position since 2021. We have John Rose has been in position since 2019. And everybody's favorite, Miss Blackburn, has been in position since 2019. Folks, these people are in positions, and especially State Senator Farrell Hale is way too long. There is no term limit. There is no term limit at all for these people who are in government and federal type of positions for the county. The senators, right here. These are the people that Seth reached out to, that Seth asked for help because of the corruption in Sumner County. And yet they made a call to Sumner County, and Sumner County turned them down for any type of help. These people right here were contacted as well. They made a call to Sumner County. Farrell Hale would be in the jurisdiction of Sumner County. And as you see here, the state senator, 2010. Folks, it's right here in front of us. There is corruption in Sumner County. And earlier I saw where someone said that they heard Craddock had several houses he owned. You see, there's a real estate racket happening, whereas a house was up for sale. Mommy Socks bought it. Christopher bought it from her. He goes and sells it back to her. The pricing fluctuated on each sale. So there is some kind of racket happening where houses are being sold and resold a few times. There's corruption happening from the top of the government in the state of Tennessee down to the lowest county sheriff. I don't understand why Sumner County is doing absolutely nothing when it comes to a 15-year-old autistic young man saying there's no evidentiary value at all, when in fact there is at 3:15 or 3:10 a.m. And as you can see, the top picture is the one I would concentrate on, because to me, that is a body thrown over the shoulder with the legs hanging down. So, yeah, there's evidence there. They just do not want to see it at all. Jacqueline's birthday was yesterday. Jacqueline, wait, hold on. We got a song for you. Well, happy late birthday, but happy birthday, Jacqueline.
Woke up today with a smile in my heart. It's your special day, a brand new start. The candles are lit, the cake's in sight. Let's make this moment shine so bright. Happy birthday, my dear friend. May your joy today never end. Hope your dreams take flight, soar far. Have a day as sweet as you are. The laughter echoes, the music plays. Memories we'll keep for all our days. Raise a glass to the year ahead, for all the words we've yet to have said. Happy birthday, my dear friend.
Thank you, everybody, for giving the happy birthdays to our sweet, sweet Jacqueline. I hope that your day is super great. You know, Sebastian's case had questions that needed to be answered from the very moment his mother told us the story of what happened. Her very first sentence, I woke up at 6, went to wake him up, and he wasn't in his bed. And when I woke him up, he wasn't in his bed. How do you wake up someone that is not there? Then it takes her 2 minutes to look her complete house over. I guess she put on clothes, brushed her hair, put her hair up in her ponytail, and got out of the house in her car, all within 2 minutes. That's a red flag. They have her on video at the school, driving through the parking lot, never slowing down. That's a red flag. his mother said that she drove down their neighborhood looking for Sebastian. Yeah. When does she pee? That's it. Everything's a red flag. You're right, April. Everything, because she said she drove down their neighborhood 31 seconds for her to drive down and back up with her windows rolled up. Red flag, folks. Red flag. 6 days after her child goes missing, she leaves the state. Massive Texas size red flag. Not counting all of the mutter that they spoke. She tells us in the interview with Olivia that she was driving down and she was going into the school and she slices her neck. Red flag, red flag, red flags everywhere. There's a video that got leaked. Thank God somebody leaked it, because Sumner County would have ended up disposing of that footage, I'm sure, because they are protecting their people. More red flags, more red flags, more red flags. When you have a vehicle parked in the dark and 2 flashlights meet up and go to that vehicle, and one flashlight runs back to the back of the Proudfoot's home, and ta-da, only one person wakes up in that home. That's the biggest, hugest red flag there is. But there's nothing. When a scent dog does not pick up the scent, that makes you wonder. But friends, when you have 18 scent dogs, cadaver dogs, come out, and none of them pick up Sebastian's scent at all. How did that young man leave the home? He was carried out. That's common sense. But folks, there's corruption going on. There is corruption in Sumner County, and we have this man that knows the Constitution frontwards and backwards and will testify in a state of law, has already had judges taking out of their position because of the corruption. And he is calling out corruption all over the place in Sumner County. He mentioned financial, banks, other things, and real estate. Real estate corruption. Mommy Socks is into real estate. Second generation construction. They build the homes. Mommy Socks sells them. It's a family affair of corruption in that town. And those people are being protected. Folks, it doesn't make any sense to me how you can have so many red flags noticeable to the public. People that live around there see the red flags all over the place. We don't even live there, and we see the red flags all over the place. But to sit here and listen how judges, which we saw in Betty's case, judges that are corrupt as hell, it took getting it to the appellate court, which is out of the county's hands, before her case was dismissed. The county, don't forget Nina, Christopher's ex-wife, explaining to us how her and her 3 babies, they were small kids. She's trying to buckle her baby up in the car. Christopher jumps in the driver's seat. What does his sister do? Put it in reverse, run over her. And Christopher's whole family laughs. It's a joke to them. They were pissed because they lost their court battle. They couldn't have what they wanted, and that's that baby. Christopher didn't want the baby. He wanted her aborted, remember? He wasn't there when she was born, and when he did show up, the nurses told him if he didn't straighten his ass up, he would not be welcome there again. That's the family that we're talking about. That's the red flags that are in place. Nina tried to run inside the police station, but the doors wouldn't open. The doors would not open, folks. And her children were just laughed at some more by his family. Bobby, thank you for that so much. I appreciate you. You're so sweet. Appreciate you, Bobby. Once Nina and her children got in, they were put in a room to wait, and the lights went out on them. Her phone went off. She was trying to call her father for help. That's the police department. They have connections in that whole damn town. And Mr. Chris and Christopher's mother think they run everything, and Katie's along for the ride. Folks, that's all you can say about it. Katie has chosen Chris and his family over her son. Yes, that was Hendersonville Police Department. The mother who has pled the fifth and hired a criminal defense attorney. That's a huge, huge, huge red flag. If Katie had told the truth from day one, she wouldn't need to plead the fifth. She would not need a criminal defense attorney because there would be nothing to defend herself against, right? We've heard Mr. Chris say it over and over and over again. I'll call Bobby and I'll call Carter. Folks, that rolls too easy off of his tongue. He has used that as a weapon against people in the past, I'm sure. Because I'm sure his mommy has built houses that could probably sell for $1 million and sold it for about 600,000. And therefore they owe her. You see, that's how some of that works over there. I agree, Alicia. She's never going to tell. She was involved. Yes, Kathy is the manager of second generation construction company that builds the houses. She's the manager for them that builds them. Her brother, his son, they own the business as a family. Then she turns around and she is the real estate agent that sells them. And when they need favors, they remind people of the cost of their home, I'm sure. The home that they sold to them as a bargain. They're all in on this together, I believe, 100%, in my opinion, because why else would they all be at Texas Roadhouse? Folks, it doesn't take a whole lot to figure all of this out. And let me tell you, when we can sit there and look at these things, talk about these things, and yet nothing they do gets checked out. There's nothing to look at according to Craddock. There's nothing of evidentiary value at all. Corruption is everywhere. Corruption is all over the place. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to show you something we're going to talk about as well. Because see, when you have people that are in your corner to back you with everything that you need to do that is corrupt, it's easy to lie and get away with things. Shirley, I don't have that. I will promise you to look into it. I will for sure. But you see, hang on just a second, folks. Let me look at this real quick. Oh no, you got the flu. Oh, you take care of yourself. Legally Blonde, I'm praying for you, my friend. So we're going to look at something real quick. You see, all the lies that Katie and Chris have told us about is very apparent. But there's this thing called, does Affinity Cars have tracking devices using sophisticated knowledge? Hang on, I can't read that. Let me get to okay, using sophisticated knowledge and technology of stolen vehicle locator with engine blocking feature can help pinpoint your vehicle's location and assist police in recovering in the unfortunate event that it is stolen. Okay, hang tight. One more thing here. This system uses not one, but 4 cameras located on the front, rear, and sides of your Infiniti. They have 4 super wide angle lenses, and their combined images give you a virtual 360 real time view of the area around your vehicle. Multiple cameras in these vehicles, and yet Mr. Chris says, no, it's not a dash cam. No, no way. They can tell us that, hey, I'm too honest. Welcome, welcome. There's a live 360 that they have. That location can be turned off and turned on when needed. The car itself has cameras inside. No, Gypsy, her car is old enough to have it. There are devices, recording devices in and around those cars. They want us to believe her car's too old for all that. Doesn't have any of that. But hey, it's easy when, look at Texas go. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. Karen, thank you for this info. Texas just rescued 109 kids and arrested 100 plus adults. Florida just rescued 60 as well. Guys, that's 169 kids that have been rescued from bad stuff. Looky here. I'm too honest. Thank you so much for that. She gifted 5 memberships. If you were the lucky ones to get a membership, please make sure to tell I'm too honest for this. Thank you so much, because that was so grateful of her. Getting new members for us is so exciting. It's like the Astros hitting a home run. That's how excited we get with new members. Thank you for that, my sweet friend. But folks, if you stop and you think about it, it's easy to get away from these horrible things that you do that should have you locked up. They sure didn't, did they, TJ? Leave me alone. But you get away with all the things, the bad things that you do when you have corrupt people in offices and in high places. Blue, come on now. I even watched the Yankees yesterday. Okay, it was on. There was a game on. Of course, I rooted for the other team, but I did watch them. Oh. Anyways, guys. I wanted to play that video for us. The vote is term limits. Yeah. But you see, Tennessee doesn't have any term limits. Tennessee, you can be a senator for 15 years. It's not a problem. And that's what's wrong with a lot of places that have no term limits or super long terms. You see, getting new minds in there, getting different people to come in keeps your government on the up and up. When you have long terms, you have corruption that builds over time. And Big Pharma has been a major donor for Farrell Hare's campaign this whole time. Right? There is a crack in the foundation. Yeah. It's just not good government when you don't have terms set in place. They're set for a reason. You serve your term, you do your thing. If you can be reelected one time and you do, you continue to do that. But then there needs to be someone new step in. It keeps it all level. It keeps the corruption down because there are good people in offices of power, but there are probably more that are not there for good. What are you talking about, Blue? I mean, Legally Blonde. She is sure as hell is not a favorite. I don't know who you're talking about. Katie set Seth up from the get-go. Yep. I believe it. Yes, Rhonda, fresh, up-to-date minds. It's all part of keeping the higher positions on the up and up. Yeah, Alicia. No forensics, no GPS from vehicles, and definitely no polys. Yeah. None of the above. Yes. Why do we have 90 and 100-year-old people in office? Not cool, folks. And that's, yeah, most are owned by many people. Yeah. That's exactly it. The people in Tennessee, and unfortunately, other states as well, I'm sure, has just as much corruption. But when there's a missing child, unfortunately, this child has family connection that partly runs the town there, the county. Yeah, you're right. It's more than the Proudfoots and the Bowerstocks, I'm sure. But Sebastian is connected to those people. And those people are covering for his mother and his stepfather. Right? Yeah. Guys, I don't know. It is very sad because Sebastian's still missing. He is still nowhere to be found. They will. I hope they will. I'm too honest. I pray those people do. I pray they do. They should pay the price. They should be called out. They should be made to the public as to what happens when you do something like that. Right? On earth or after, they will. Somebody told me that they didn't think Katie wanted to remain in her house due to the fact that Sebastian's still there in spirit. Yes. Yep. Exactly, Debbie. Eric is in the Navy Reserves. Yep. Big connection there, isn't it? It's that brotherhood. I know, Charlene, that should never happen. A senator for your state should never be in a nursing home. It's just, and then we sit here and we wonder, why are things so bad in this world? Ugh. I know, TJ. Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's craziness. If you cannot uphold your position, you should be replaced. Being in a nursing home is not a place to uphold your position. End of story. Replace him. That is weird, isn't it? 18 years in the reserves. That's it. I'm too honest. She says, Karma don't care about the brotherhood. Every horror they feel they'll get in one form or another, wondering if is today the day I rot in prison. I hope it wears them down. I really do. The biggest, so so disgusting. The biggest liars get reward. Yes. Oh, guys, it's just corruption's there. We knew it. I just proved it. John Gentry spoke about the corruption in the government process there in his state of Tennessee. Sumner County was his one target that was the worst. But we knew that, guys. We really knew it. He just proved it to us. Yeah, all these years later, Suzanne Morphews getting her justice. But Sebastian still remains missing. I don't know if anyone is actually looking for him anymore. We can sit here and prove things over and over and over and over every single day and show receipts. But folks, we are not his parent. We cannot act on anything, unfortunately. Cecilia, I might. I'm not sure. I hadn't really thought about it too much today. Yeah, I've got an email into him. So I'm hoping that maybe he'll come on here and talk with us. But we know for a fact that we have sat here and we have proven time and time again all the things that we see and we know, everything we have proof of, other things we've talked about that are possibilities. We have done more than Sumner County has done as far as we can tell. And it's not just our channel, it's multiple channels. Everyone has worked on Sebastian's case. We've done as much as we can. And I don't know what more to do. We've had it completely wide open for Sebastian's dad to have support, to help him, to get in to see the governor and to attorney generals and having a whole conversation with them. But we can't make him. I'm not offering it to Katie or to Chris because we know they will shoot us down for it. Me too, TJ. Me too. But what more is there for us to do? I always thought we needed to continue to put his name out there and everything. Guys, our numbers are dropping here. Our numbers are going down. And no one but just a couple of us are talking about Sebastian. And I'll tell you why my numbers are going down, because of this, and many more like it. Oh, thank you. I'm too honest. I'm just really suffering here with which way to take this now. I really am. Well, I've sent those pictures over to people that I thought needed them. I've sent them over to let people know what we have found. And of course, there was a whole live done discrediting all of them. And I know y'all are here to stay. That's not it, guys. It's just, where do we go from here? Where do we go? We've proven Sebastian couldn't have left the house on his own. Someone had to have taken him out of that house. That is a very, very follow your heart, take your brain with you. It's just like everything is so right in front of our eyes. But if no one's going to do nothing about it, where do we go from here? Oh, Bobby, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. You are so sweet. I'm just trying to figure out, guys, what's next. That's it, April. It's all right in front of our eyes. Why can't they see it and do something about it? Sit, Cecilia. As long as they are protected, nothing's going to happen. So we sit here going over and over and over things because nothing is being done. So I'm afraid that, you're right. I'm too honest says, how do you know they aren't? We may not see it. They can't just completely ignore it. I'm hoping, y'all, my oldest granddaughter got a phone for her birthday. She is texting me like crazy. She texted me a while ago just to let me know she was going to the bathroom. She is so excited. My phone is going crazy right now. I have not. I've been looking, but I haven't found her yet. So, guys, we may look into a couple of other cases, okay? If there's something that you would like to go over, a case that you would like to discuss, please email it to me, okay? And then I am not going to. I did, Blue. Thank you for that. But I'm not going to stop with Sebastian. We will continue to do lives about Sebastian. Okay? I'm not going to stop. It's just probably not going to be every single day. The FBI automatically was part of the case because they were called in to do some stuff with the search. That's all they've been asked to do. They cannot take over the case until Sumner County asks them to. No, you're good. And you're right. You're right. We may not be seeing everything. But it used to be so easy for me to sit down after a live and start working on the one for the next day. Now I'm having to really dig hard. Harder than it should be. Because it is almost 16 months. And unfortunately, Sebastian is still missing. And nowhere at all close or closer than the day he left. Nowhere. Mr. Chris can sit there and be happy and go lucky and, boast all he wants to because he has the protection he needs. That's right. That's right. I'm too honest. He is. He's going to finally, his time will be up. There'll be a time where they just can't protect him anymore. But yeah, if there is a case that y'all would like to go over or whatever, please send it to me. Let me know. We will continue to go live every day. Pay attention to the times. I try to go when no one else is because I'm such a small channel, but I am getting overtaken no matter what time I go. So it really doesn't even matter anymore. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Thank you. Oh, yeah. We're glad you're here. I'm too honest. We really are. So yeah, y'all think about it. If you come up with something, Idaho, I would love to cover Idaho. I'm all into that case, but I'm just been following it in the background, I would like to really look into some kids that need us. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you. I love having you guys here. I really do. And, unfortunately, most of the community has moved away from Sebastian. It's sad to say, but that's what's happened. And I want to keep going over here. I want to keep talking about Sebastian. But unfortunately, guys, we're at the end of our rope. So I think we're going to check into some other things. If y'all will take the ride with me, I say let's do it. Yeah, Legally Blonde's got some ideas for us as well. So we're going to look into some stuff and, let's. Right, I'm too honest. He is one creepy mofo for sure. For sure. I just wonder on the Idaho case, this is my biggest hang up. He either had to strip down before he walked out that door and got in his car, or he had his car seats all kinds of covered up. Because you don't just unalive 4 people with a knife and just drive away. It just doesn't happen. When there's so much blood that is dripping out of the foundation of the home, I don't know. Cecilia says, hop on your horse. Let's ride. Yeah. Summer and Sebastian will never be forgotten. Yeah. I don't want that to happen. Unfortunately, Summer's case has just pretty much dried up. whoever did it to her has gotten away with it, and I don't want that to be Sebastian's case. But when you have people in power, that's the one I really want to go over, y'all. Kyron Harmon. Yep. Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Yes. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to do some soul searching on it tonight and see which direction we go. And thank y'all. Thank y'all for being with me on all of this. Yes, we will look into Kyron's case. I've been wanting to do that for a while. So, guys, that's what we'll do. We'll go back and review Kyron Harmon's case and go over it. His mother is begging to find her child as well. But I thank you all for being here, hanging in there with me. Right? You know, I look at it this way. Anybody that can harm a child, there is a special place for them when they're gone from this earth. I honestly believe that. But thank you all for being here today. And everybody, have a really good night. Be careful out on those streets. It is getting vicious by the day. It's absolutely horrible out there. Stay safe. Remember, if you hear anything about Sebastian and the trafficking and all the things, just look into it a little bit. I just don't know that there's any direct answer right now for him. So until tomorrow, and I think we'll do an early live tomorrow, and then we'll come back and do a late live as well. And our late live, we have decided, is just hanging out, chatting, playing some funny stuff. I got y'all covered. We're going to just have a good time. So plan that if you can for tomorrow. Look for it. And guys, I love you all. Prayers to everybody that needs it. Hugs to every one of you. Until tomorrow. Love you guys. See you soon.